Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast here on Blab. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis, and on Twitter I go as PD Beats. This is the podcast where we have topical discussions from the worlds of social media, sports, and pop culture. It's all about sporting events, athletes, and digital media. And we have a really awesome panel with some athletes and some people that, kind of work behind the scenes as well, like myself and social media and game day operations. So I'm quickly going to introduce the panel. First, we have a freestyle skier. He's a Olympic silver medalist. He's a two-time world champion, five-time World Cup champion. We have Mikael Kingsbury. Mick, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thanks.
No problem.
It's great. It's great to be here. I've watched your shows a couple of times, and it's nice to be on right now.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. And we have he's involved in the game day operations, game day entertainment. Sorry, not operations. Game entertainment for the Ottawa Senators. We have Jon Trottier. Jon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, P. Looking forward to it. Maybe gain a couple more followers today.
Yeah. And we have last, but of course, but not least, we have offensive lineman for the Hamilton Ticats in the CFL and the winner of Canada's Smartest Person on CBC, Peter Dyakowski. Peter, who's just at audio, but Peter, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you very much. Can you see the green orb in the upper right-hand corner of my black square? No, when I talk?
No.
Oh, my goodness. I thought everyone could see that. Well, you can't see me at all then, but I'm happy to be on the show and looking forward to a fun chat.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you. And I didn't realize that we could do audio only. And that's why, people, we were talking yesterday.
2016, and they got that technology.
Yeah, I know. But I thought it was like a deal breaker not to have a cam. So that's good for future episodes. But very quickly, I just want us to, introduce ourselves. So let's start with you. I introduced you briefly, but if you could tell us a bit more about yourself before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Well, I should add a disclaimer. I've been riding the free wave of that Canada's Smartest Person for a few years now. I was the winner of the inaugural season back in 2012. So there have been a couple of other winners since. So I've got some company now up there. More importantly, I think I'm football player. I've been playing with the Tiger Cats now 9 years down. I'm looking forward to the 2016 season, which will be my 10th. Still working on winning that elusive Grey Cup. I'm a Vancouverite by birth. On my way to Hamilton after 5 years down at LSU. Go Tigers. And I couldn't be happier.
Great. Well, we're really happy to have you on the show. And we'll talk about your Jeopardy appearance later on as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Jon, what about you? Just a little bio about yourself?
As opposed to I kind of help run the show that I guess Peter would be involved in a different scale of things. I work for the Ottawa Senators and part of the game entertainment crew. I also have experience working in general management for a baseball team in Ottawa, as well as I'm trying to think what else. Some more sports. I have a degree in sports management from Brock University. Did a couple things with Brock. And just an all-around sports guy. I like the behind the scenes, and so it's fun. It's a fun way to stay involved, and it's also referee hockey too. So
yep. I was about to say,
I kind of see different spectrums of sports for sure, but I'm not quite the athlete like Mike or Peter here. But hopefully, I can contribute some interesting facts to this conversation. Thanks for having me again.
No problem. And Mick, quickly, a little bio introduction.
Yeah, so this year, 2 weeks ago, I just won my 5th Crystal Globe of being World Cup champion. I break the all-time record in my sport with 33 wins. So that's pretty big to be in history and considered one of the greatest in my sport. And yeah, I'm having fun and skiing the best as I can and getting ready for 2018 Olympic Games. And I want to improve on my silver medal at the Sochi one. So big years ahead of me.
Yeah, but you were very young. You were 20, 21?
Yeah, I was 21 in Sochi and first Olympic game, and
Yeah.
go out there and get a medal for Canada. And, you know, the whole experience that I got there was incredible and something I'll remember all my life. So pretty stoked to have the chance to go back again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. So yeah, I mentioned it really briefly, but you know, we're John and I are kind of on the other side of things. We're on, you know, the game, the operations, the game day, the social media stuff. But you know, Mick and Pete, you guys are professional athletes. You're you know, performing in huge events. Mick, you mentioned the Olympics. You know, really playing in the CFL. Pete, you get to play in some really cool, you know, stadiums around, you know, Canada. I just wanted to talk about, you know, the landscape of digital media over the years, because Mick, we were talking about Sochi a couple of years ago, and you know, just a couple of years ago, the whole landscape of social media in terms of the fans and the athletes using it has changed, and it hasn't even been that much. So could you talk a little bit about how you see it as an athlete using digital media, or some of the changes over time that you think are pretty key and important when it comes to your profession and like engaging with the fans and other personnel?
Yeah, well, it was so much different just 2 years ago for Sochi. I had like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, but it wasn't like a top priority for me. The social media, it was mostly, you know, skiing and getting ready for the games, and I didn't really care. And until there was you know, we said that to athletes, like when you get to like a big event like the Olympic, you get so much more viewers and so much more fans and way more likes on your pictures and stuff like that. But it feels like nowadays, like it's even crazier. So yeah, there was a big change, and now I'm taking more care of my social media. I'm trying to interact more with the people that follows me, and it's changed so much, and I'm sure it will get even bigger for the future. And yeah, pretty crazy.
Pete, do you see the changes in just like the last couple of years only, like a small, short amount of time?
Oh, 100%. You know, I've been on Facebook since 2004, and if you look at the volume and the pace of material that's being presented, the number of followers and everything, the amount of interaction, it's huge. Twitter, the same. I think it's almost getting louder out there. It's sometimes tougher to get noticed for some athletes because there's so much more going on, so many more people on there, but at the same time, there's so many more people watching. Instagram is huge. It's outpacing Twitter in a lot of ways, I find, and I think the numbers back that up. In the CFL, you see all the teams across the league, some better than others, being very proactive in how they engage fans on social media. I think CFL has been a leader in pro sports because the onus is on our league and our teams to go out there and engage fans. We're not in a as privileged a position as, say, the NFL, where people just come up with wheelbarrows of their cash and put it into the team money pit. You know, we have to be very engaging. We give our fans more access probably than any major league, and it's really interesting to see some of the different things that teams have done. You know, some teams have great Twitter accounts, for example.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. John, you know, being on the other side, you know, doing game day operations, whether it's announcement or it's refereeing, what I think is really cool is you get to kind of see everything going on around you at like the event, and you kind of soak that in. So what do you think about that, being on the other side? Not being the athlete, but kind of looking and seeing everything.
I think social media is a huge advantage to putting on events today. Like Peter was saying, you can be connected to your fans a whole lot easier. You can live tweet events. You can tweet out promotions. You can access your followers so much easier. You can send messages. Even the advertisements reduced a lot of the cost in advertising. You can, when I worked in minor pro baseball we had in Ottawa, it was so easy to reach fans just by, a click of a button. You can say, hey, the game is delayed today. And all the people can see that. Or you can say, hey, we have a promotion for a game. We have a player signing and whatnot. Just being able to reach out to your surroundings is just phenomenal with the social media. And, it's, of course you have to monitor. It's a little different. It can cause issues as well. But I think there's so much more positive feedback from social media. The negativities, I guess you can say, is people can give you feedback about your event, whether they like your team, whether they don't like your team. They can comment, and everyone can see that. So there's two ways to look at it, but I think it's a huge advantage to have social media, and it's grown tremendously in the past, I would say, 4 or 5 years.
But not just social media. And Pete and Mick, you can kind of agree and see this too, because Mick in freestyling, in freestyle skiing, and a lot of and snowboarding as well, and Pete in football, you're seeing a lot of we focus more on social media here at Popternative, but in general, digital media, so blogs, websites. It's a lot easier right now for people to make websites with, Squarespace and WordPress, which are really easy. And a lot of people are making blogs. Everyone has a blog, right, Mick? So there's more people that have access as a fan who's not necessarily associated with anyone to kind of get into the action and have a following and not be associated with anyone, right, Mick? Like it's its own thing,
Yeah, well, I have a website, but I feel maybe it's my generation that are like that. But if I want to follow someone, I'm less the kind of guy that's going to go on the blog. I'm mostly going to go in his Twitter account or try to follow him on every social media possible, because I can, if I want to know something about him, pretty much everything is there now, and you can get so much in like their normal life, not into their, you can see stuff about their sports career, but you can see stuff at the people that I want to follow and their lifestyle, what they're doing. So I have a website.
It's quicker too, right?
Yeah,
it's also
it's 2 times quicker, and I think it's from maybe my generation. We don't read as much probably, so we don't go on blogs and stuff like that. Even though I have some, and I know people are going to read them, but mostly going to go and watch just watch videos and pictures and stuff that are easy to get to.
Yeah, and very quickly, Pete, John and Mick know this, but my dog, Mick was talking about photos, but my dog has an Instagram account and has a pretty big following on there. He has about, my sister and I made it, he has about 144,000 followers.
It's crazy.
My goodness.
Yeah, so that's my question to you, especially like CFL and NFL football. We've seen so many amazing images. Don't you find social media and digital media and all the blogs have kind of elevated the access to all these cool photos that we get to see? And it's become a real photo era on social media.
Oh, definitely. My cat has Twitter, and he doesn't have anywhere close to the number of followers his dog has on Instagram. You can follow him at Gordon Cat.
That's a great handle.
He posts mostly thoughts. But something like skiing, you're going to get some incredible video highlights. You're going to get some incredible images. Same with football. You get incredible images, incredible video highlights. And the ability to get that out, Vine videos, Instagram, and you see the number of views this material has, it's staggering. We've turned every single person into a walking content consumer 24/7 because everyone has these giant telephones in their hands that are so big you can't put it in your pocket. You can't sit down without taking your phone out of your pocket. I think that's half the idea for making them bigger. That many more hours engaged on your screen, looking, consuming, and you have an opportunity to build a really strong connection with your fan base, with your ticket holders, and with the people you'd like to be ticket holders down the road. So it's a very interesting development in the business, and you can see some teams doing a very good job at it. You have no choice but to compete. You have to be out there.
Hmm. And John, with the Sens and hockey games and everything, it's all fan content, right? Instagram is full of fan content. The Senators and other teams do a lot of, show us pictures of your pets wearing fan gear, right?
Yeah.
It's really centralized on photos.
Yeah, I'm not involved necessarily. I'm not involved in any of the social media with the Sens, but I can say that the Sens have definitely a good crew doing it. You can instantly look on Instagram on a game day, and your lineups, the lineups are there. It's an interactive. They show some videos of the morning skates. They show videos of just warm up. And you can, like Pete was saying, you can connect to the fans a lot easier through the social media. Before, you used to have to look at things in the newspaper. You have to wait till the next day to find out the score of the hockey game. But now you can find out, as soon as there's a score or as soon as, or a goal, and you find out right away. So I think it's amazing. I'm totally a fan of social media.
But it's also
you make the fan feel more involved in
Yes.
the team because you give them that link. The fan can interact. They can they can tweet the players
Absolutely,
directly. Yeah. You build the link. You build the bond. The CFL put out a Grey Cup commercial last season or the season before, where it was 100% fan submitted videos. It was people's iPhone videos from games, and it was the most incredible commercial. It was fantastic, and you literally hundreds of people who were involved in making it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to see yourself on that commercial, and you feel like you're part of that team as well. A lot of teams say, this is our team, it's your team, it's as a city, come together on that team. So you being on that commercial and you say, wow, I did something, I'm a part of it, and so it's.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say that Mick, tomorrow, Thursday, I believe, right? The Twitter, you're doing the Twitter takeover.
Yeah, well, tomorrow I'm going to Toronto. I'm flying there, and I go see a couple of my sponsors, and I'm gonna go to Twitter Canada and do a Q&A with a couple of my fans, and I've already got a couple questions, so it should be interesting.
You're gonna say hi to Chris Doyle because he was on the show, and he's director of media partnerships for Twitter. So you're gonna see if you see a guy called Chris. He's a good guy.
Okay, yeah, I'll say hi from you, and
because
I'll probably see him tomorrow.
You're both Popternative alumnus now, so
sweet, that's awesome.
It's a cool thing. But this is what I was going to ask you, Mick. You're developing a pretty big following on your social media. It's gonna go up. Like I can't even imagine, come 2018 Olympics, how much more it's gonna go up. Does that ever, come into play as well? Like, you're obviously very focused on events, but, knowing that there's an audience watching you on TV, but there's also an audience on the second screen, the Twitter, the phone, that's involved now. Does that ever, make you think and be like, oh, that it's like two audiences now almost? Yeah,
pretty much. I think I could do a better job with my social media, and I think I will do going towards the next Olympic, but
that's what I'm here for, man.
Right now it's going pretty slowly, and I think I'm getting. I don't have the biggest amount of followers. I think I could have more than that, but I gotta get better at posting stuff and saying news faster. Sometimes I don't think about that too much, and nowadays, if you want to have a lot, you have to be very quick on your phone, and sometimes I'm maybe a bit too slow, and I think I'll get used to it. But I'm looking forward for sure. Sometimes I'm thinking like how big we all want that. Those days, people want the most followers as they can, and they're willing to do anything to have them. But I think it's gonna be crazy now that everybody are on social media for the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. But Pete, it's two audiences, it's two screens. You have the people watching the Grey Cup on the bar television, the television screen at the bar, but then they're also on Twitter on their phones. So they're not necessarily watching the game on the phones, but that's a whole different forum, right, Pete?
Oh yeah, it enhances the experience. It draws the viewer in deeper into it. It makes them more a part of it. and it makes them more linked to it. They're not as likely to switch channels. They're not as likely to go somewhere else. It's something that you have to have. You have to be on top of as a team and as an athlete, especially if you're in an individual sport like skiing. It's part of the business now. You have to be doing it. You have to be competitive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just with your sponsor now, the sponsor, sometimes they ask you to post a picture or videos or stuff like that. So you got to do that also for them. And even now, for me, I'm watching, like you said, you have like the two. You have, example, people on TV and people on social media. But just me, sometime when I'm watching the ads on TV, I'm going to have my phone out and I'm going to look at the social media, what they post, and at the same time watching the game. So you're like connecting with that twice.
Yeah, John, what I was also going to ask you too is, do you find there's a pressure now where you have to take advantage of the second screen, the Twitter, right? There's more eyes, obviously, and it's not even necessarily like the same people watching the game on TV are watching on their phone. There might be people at work or other areas where they can't access it, so they're relying on this phone. There's if you think about it, it's an interesting world. And my question is, do you think that there's now a pressure that you have to now make a nonstop amount of social media content or blogs or posts that to
I think that
appease the second screen user?
I think it's extremely important. You're missing out on a whole opportunity. I mean, something that honestly doesn't cost anything. It's free to do social media. The more, and like Mick was saying, the more followers you get, the more active you are on social media. It could also lead to more sponsorship deals because you have more of an active following. If someone has, for example, athlete A has 100,000 followers, athlete B has 1 million followers. Well, a sponsor may be likely to say, my product can, one tweet of a picture, can be worth X amount of money. You look at guys like LeBron James, who gets paid, like thousands and thousands of dollars for one tweet that he tweets out. So the more that you can grow your following, the more that you can get other, the athlete side of things. Where it comes to the having the second phone in your hand, you can watch a game from anywhere in the world if you have an internet connection. You can, if you can't access a TV screen, I can't watch the Ticats versus the Red Blacks game, but I can watch it. I happen to be on a beach somewhere, but I can follow on Twitter and see that someone just scored a touchdown. I can see that something just happened. You can basically feel like you're there, depending on how good the social media team is.
No, yeah, and Pete, one thing that I think, like Mick, you brought up about how at times you find you're sometimes slow, like you don't tweet out, you don't post as much content. You said sometimes, but you're also busy. You're training, right? You're doing
I
a lot
don't.
of stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. So Pete, my question too is, you guys are both athletes. Pete, is there a there's a sense of that professional athletes are role models in a certain way and in many factors, and you have to take that into account every time you're about to post something, right, Pete?
Oh, I don't. I'm just a stream of consciousness. You do have to be conscious, and some guys are more open than others. Some guys are a bit more guarded with what they post. I think in general, guys have a fair amount of judgment. We have a few reminders about being smart about what we tweet, but more than that, we are encouraged. We have the league and the team being very supportive, encouraging guys to be on social media, linking with guys, team accounts, mentioning guys, retweeting guys' tweets. The team, and I'm sure the Canadian Olympic Committee, really wants our athletes to be as open and as accessible to fans as we can be. The more content we produce, as long as we're not putting in anything bad, the more content we produce, the more we're producing for the team on behalf of the team, acting like another mouthpiece for all the official team accounts. So it's important, just like we produce the entertainment product on game day on the field when we play the game, we're out there playing to win, but people are watching because it's entertaining to watch. When you have all of the players engaged, producing, footage of their workouts, behind the scenes on game day pictures and Instagram posts and tweets, it enhances the product that's available to the fans, and that's I think very important in the business.
To jump off something, if you don't mind, what Pete was saying there is some people don't necessarily think twice about what they post, but Peter and I were talking earlier about a digital footprint. Anything that you post on social media, you see a lot of athletes tend to get in trouble sometimes where it's you can post something, and if you have millions of followers, the chances are that somebody saw that post right away, took a screen capture of it. Now all of a sudden what you wrote is on your digital footprint forever. So that's where social media can have a negative aspect of things. So you have to really be careful of what you write and how you do it, because it's going to be available forever. It's not going to go away. It's going to always be on the internet. So that's something to take into account.
Yeah.
No, I always, if I ever have a tweet I have to think twice about, what I'll do is I will text it to our former director of media relations. He's with the Maple Leafs now, but I still text them for him, for review. And it's funny, while he still worked for the team, he was a lot stricter about what he approved than, while he's not working with the team. But he's definitely saved me on more than a few occasions.
Go ahead, Pete, sorry.
No, John, continue.
I was just going to say, you can think something that you might think is funny or like an inside joke may offend somebody. And you can see that a lot of times society today can easily get offended by something that we may not perceive as offensive. I don't know if you kind of get what I'm saying. So for us,
stay away from the Hitler jokes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly it. And sometimes it's all about timing too. Like you'll tweet something that maybe doesn't really have anything to do with something specifically, but someone is going to spin it in a way that, like there's always days where you don't tweet things, when there's tragedies that happen or certain incidents, the days like, the Paris terrorist attacks were an example of that, where that was just an overall like very sensitive day on social media. And I just find that just in general, there is a fear with athletes on social media, and that is why a lot of specifically hockey players, based on my academic research, are reluctant to be active and post two to three posts a day. Like you're lucky if you get 2 to 3 posts a week from NHL hockey players these days.
But what is the ideal posting rate for an athlete? Because I think I'm a low poster, and I know some guys on my team are serial users.
Sorry, continue.
What's an ideal amount for for an athlete to be putting out there from a team or a fan perspective?
I would like something out. Knowing the scale of it too, the big guys, they have a lot of followers, like John said. There's a lot of eyes. I would like a post a day, and it doesn't have to necessarily be at least just a post a day. Mick, do you agree with me? Maybe Mick, like you're a Blue Jays fan, right? You follow a lot of Blue Jays, right? You want to know what's going on, right? You're interested.
Yeah, well, for those big accounts like that, like teams and stuff like that, I think they have to post at least once or more a day. But for an athlete, sometimes you wait for a good timing to post when you have a cool event, or you just competed, you just played a game, or you had a good training. But some days are more boring, and it feels like I'm not gonna post those days. But if I'm following the Blue Jays, I want to see stuff. So and they have a lot of followers, so I'm not the only one who want to see what they're up to.
Well, it's good. It's good to see. I think from a fan point of things, I think it's great to see the behind the scenes look. If I know that an athlete, for somebody who's not an athlete, what's a game day routine for somebody? They wake up. I don't need to see
Cheeseburgers pregame.
right. Like you're see like a pregame meals, or you like to see some of the shows. Like I know the Montreal Canadiens do like a 24/CH. It's called. So it's like a crew that follows the team around behind the scenes. So it's really cool when you see some athletes post. This is what just like a workout, but then fans get to see what the training room looks like, or fans get to see what your dressing room looks like. For some people, it's fascinating to see that. So
I had a ton of hits when I periscoped the showers after the game one time.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No.
Oh man, I was like, that's probably one of those things that we might have to think twice about before doing.
Yeah, and another thing too, that because we're gonna have to wrap up this episode soon, but a couple of things. One, just bringing up the Blue Jays, I just think of that amazing run they had in the playoffs, and
Joey Bats, what a guy!
yeah. No, but I just find you look at that event, and that's the perfect example. Like those last few series, and that game's like that game 7 against the Rangers. You just look at that. That is your ideal social media empire right there of nonstop content.
How many times have you seen the bat flip? Everywhere.
It is everywhere.
I mean,
Yeah.
whether you agree with it or not, you see that on Twitter. You see that on Facebook. Absolutely everywhere. The Blue Jays brand just blew up. They've had way more flex pack holders this year. Their season ticket rate has gone up. Everything about the Blue Jays is huge now, all because of one moment that was captured, and of course the success of the team.
Yeah.
But that one moment is, you could probably be anywhere in the world and people will know about the bat flip. It's unbelievable.
I was in Switzerland, and I was up until 2 a.m. to watch the game. And
It was at the top.
There was people everywhere around the world watching that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and we're actually in a few weeks. We may or may not have someone from the Blue Jays on Popternative. So it's a little teaser there.
Ooh,
But very quickly before we go, Pete, Canada's smartest person and Jeopardy. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because you were on both shows. You won Canada's smartest person, but John before the show told me that you were on Jeopardy, and I did not know about that. So do you have any Alex Trebek stories that you want to share, or anything happen?
Trebek, from his youth in Sudbury, grew up a Ticats fan.
Oh.
And that was very exciting to find out.
So was he happy to see you there?
Yeah, and he dropped some names of some of the old timers, and it was really, really cool. He doesn't age. When he was dropping the names of the guys that he watched when he was growing up, I thought, oh my goodness, this guy, he's got that Hollywood secret. He doesn't look a day over 50 or whatever like that. It was a really exciting day, though. It was a kind of a dream. I've always been a huge trivia buff. I got to it, and I got a bit of a case of the nerves, and I'm usually calm, cool, and collected, but I couldn't remember a few things that I knew. And I ended up only winning a bronze medal, but they told me that, the important thing is just getting on the show. But Canada's smartest person, that was exciting. I was not expecting to win. I did well in the very first round, and that took all the nerves out of me, and I was just having fun after that, and I was able to roll. It was a TV-friendly event, so fast-paced, lots of thinking on your feet, good for a football player, and it worked out well for me. So that's a fun aside. Still working on the Grey Cup. I think that will definitely take precedence over the Canada's Smartest Person trophy and whatever I spent the $1,000 from Jeopardy on. I don't even remember.
Absolutely. So yeah, this has been a really, really cool episode. I hope you guys had fun. Mick, closing remarks, anything you want to say? Anything more about the Twitter takeover we need to know?
Oh, yeah. Well, tomorrow, if anyone who's watching or you guys have any question, you guys can hit me up, or, everyone can follow me. It's easy. I'll try to be more active, and, yeah, I always try to put some good content, so great pictures. So there's good thing ahead of me, so follow me. It should be good.
Nick, did you learn a lot on this episode? You're learning, right?
Oh yeah, I'm learning every day. I'm learning about everything every day. So yeah,
Yeah.
I should be a guy that is better now with social media. It's good for me.
I know. My dog, Leo, will teach you. My dog.
Yeah. Leo is amazing. Yeah, I have to. He has to teach me a little stuff.
More importantly, Peter, is your dog verified? Does he have a check mark?
No.
Gordon, my cat. No, he's other Peter. Oh my goodness.
Well, both of you. You guys both.
Yeah. What is it, Pete? Gord the cat?
Gordon_cat.
He probably has more followers than me.
Oh, Gordon.
Yeah, but
Peter, I don't know what you're going to have to ask him.
How did your dog get that much so quickly?
So I can't take all the credit. It's my sister and I do it together. We're posting a lot of the content on a day-to-day basis. Right now, she's the one taking more of the photos. I'm just making the captions and putting the tags. But it's just, I guess, the content and the fact, it really helps that he's an unbelievably cute dog. Like, this is a dog that is so photogenic. And Pete, if you want to check him out on Instagram, it's Little Leo the Morkie.
Little Leo the Morkie?
Yes.
Go check him out.
K-I-E, like Morkie with K-I-E. And he's going up 3,000 to 4,000 a day now, which is insane. And
whoa.
Yeah, he's at 145. Around Christmas, he was at 106. You know what I mean? So he's going up a lot, and I think it has to do with the type of content. We make it really compelling, creative, and engaging. And I'm actually speaking at Carleton University, my old school, this Friday. I'm giving a talk on how to create successful and effective social media and blog content. I'm speaking. I'm giving a guest lecture. So they want, and a lot of people have tweeted me about my dog. I want to know how successful.
Your dog gets $200 watches.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Daniel Wellington sent us a watch, and Dyson sent us a vacuum actually too. It made my mom very happy. So yeah. No, John, I really appreciate you coming on, John. I know you don't do many of these, but I really appreciate it, man. Any closing remarks?
You know what? I'm looking forward to seeing Mick win a gold medal in 2018. I know.
Yes!
I remember watching him. There, I see. I'm getting props here. I don't know what that.
Yeah, Pete's just giving you a bunch of props.
I point out that everybody else has exactly 40 props, and I have 2.
Here you go, buddy.
I'm sorry, man.
There you go. I gave you some here. But
you give props?
I'm looking forward to seeing. Like I said, I was watching Mick the last Olympics. Really looking forward. I was cheering him on. You know what? Bronze medal in your first Olympics is huge. It's something to be proud of.
Silver.
Oh, silver. I thought you said bronze earlier.
Yeah,
no, I said bronze. I won the bronze on Jeopardy.
Oh, right. It was Pete that said bronze. My bad. I wish Peter has really some success this year. And unfortunately, I hope the Red Blacks take the Grey Cup. But
oh, my goodness. They had their chance.
Ticats can be a close second here, for sure.
Pete, any closing remarks? I really appreciate you coming on the show. It really means a lot.
I appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to coming to see you up in Ottawa and going out for some Greek at EVO. Is it EVO or EVO?
Evo.
Evo. Okay, yeah. I'll bring Zach with us, and he's got a great palate for the Greek food. He'll tell me what's what. But thanks for having me on. Lots of fun. And definitely some great points, some good things for me to keep in mind, too. I just put Instagram onto my new phone because I realized I haven't posted since I opened the account a number of months ago. There's just 2 pictures of my cats on there right now. So I'll try to be more active, I promise.
Perfect. Well, this has been Popternative. Oh, my mix it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Peter, when you come play in Montreal, I'll try to come and cheer for you and the Alouettes.
Oh, hit me up. I'll give you some tickets.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. I'll go follow you and I'll write you up. And John, if I ever go to Ottawa, I'll try to go find you in the Canadian Tire Center and say
all right,
hi.
You're more than welcome.
Okay, thanks. And thanks again, Peter, for everything.
No,
and we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely. Well, guys, this has been Popternative. Thank you so much for coming on. You can catch, thank you for everyone who's listening. You can catch previous episodes of Popternative on the YouTube page and on a SoundCloud page. Next week, we actually have Tessa Bonham from TSN and Olympic gold medalist in women's hockey for Canada on the show, so that's going to be really cool. And yeah, so this has been Popternative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Mick, John, Pete. Good luck, Mick, with everything coming up. Well, most of it's done already, but good luck for next year or the year. Pete, good luck. I wish you all the best for the upcoming season.
Thank you very much.
And John, I'll see you soon, man.
For sure.
This has been Popternative. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.